Good afternoon. Welcome to Manik Ias. Today we will discuss current affairs of 17th February. First, we will discuss rice fortification. Right? Why it is important? Why rice fortification is important? Now, fortification is one of the major issue, and even it's not issue. This topic is very important. Why it is important? Because after COVID pandemic, the anemia among women and children has increased. Right? The health condition of masses, especially the people belongs to lowest category of society, that has deteriorated significantly. So in that scenario, government is proposing, and government is going to launch a centrally sponsored scheme, that is fortification of rice and its distribution under PDS system, right? For a period of 3 years. For a period of 3 years, with a total outlay of 170 crore. So government has approved that, and it is going to implement it. Right. At present, we see that more than 32% of children belongs to the stunted and malnourished, right, category. That stunted means whose height is less than the according to the proper height, right, and wasted as well, that is less than the proper weight. So they lack in weight, they lack in height, they also lack in overall nutrition. They are suffering from malnutrition, and malnutrition causes various diseases, lack of mental development, and various other problems, right. So, in case of women, we see that more than 55% of women are suffering from anemia. Anemia means bloodlessness. So, in that scenario, government has launched one of the major scheme, that is Poson scheme, that is replaced midday meal scheme, where they are already giving, which has mandated to give fortified food. But here also, in case of PDS system, that is for everybody, both for that is for all people, right. In PDS system, government is planning food fortification, rice fortification, right. So what is this scheme? Let's learn to what is the anemia and micronutrient deficiency in the country. Government of India has approved the scheme for a period of 3 years. Under the scheme, FCI, Food Corporation of India, has been asked to come up with a comprehensive plan for procurement and distribution of fortified rice in all the districts of the country under integrated child development services, right? So the role will be played by FCI under the scheme of Integrated Child Development Services, to address the problem of anemia and micronutrient deficiency. Government is going to make a comprehensive plan for procurement and distribution of fortified rice, right? Fortified rice. Special focus remains supplying fortified rice to the 112 specially identified aspirational districts of the country, right? Those 112 aspirational districts mean those districts which are basically which where we have seen left wing extremism, right? Then objective of the scheme. What are the objective of the scheme? Distribution of fortified rice through public distribution. This particular public distribution system cater 15 districts of the country, uh, um, preferably in one district for one state in initial phase of implementation. Right? Initially, one district in one phase will be. Uh, uh, no, sure. Uh-huh. Okay, so objective is to cover one district in one state at initial phase, then coverage of National Food Security Act beneficiaries with food fortified rice, right? Those who are beneficiaries under National Food Security Act 2013, then will be enabled for fortified rice as well, right? Then facilitate cross-learning and sharing best practices among states and union territories. Uh, then Department of Food and Public Distribution, right? To evaluate the provision coverage of utilization of fortified rice by target population as well as efficiency and effectiveness of the consumption of fortified rice in reducing the targeted macronutrient deficiencies in different age and gender groups. So especially it targets to reduce deficiency in different ages and gender groups, and they will initially after implementation they will experiment, and the best practices will be that will be shared among all, then that will be adopted, right? And that will be evaluated as well. Evaluated will cover the PDS system of all district of all the union territories and states. And what is the need of fortification, right? Why it is essential, why government is focusing on need of fortification? India has high level of malnutrition among women and children. I have already discussed high level of malnutrition. According to food ministry, every second woman in the country is anemic and every third child is stunted. Yes, we have already discussed that is around 33% people as children are stunted, and more than 50% of women are anemic, right? They lack blood. India has slipped 101 position in global hunger index to 116 in 2001 to 2000, from 116, right? From its 2020 position of 94th. See now. Yes. So India has slipped from 2000, from 94th to 101 position in global hunger index. So we have to increase it. We have to address this concern immediately. The deficiency of micronutrients and micronutrient malnutrition is also known as hidden hunger. It's a serious health risk because if a person is not taking proper nutrient, ultimately that will lead to diseases and that will lead to vicious cycle of poverty. Because even when a lower class person who is a basically a laborer, when he falls ill, he will not be able to work, so his income level suffers. Also, as he do not have a saving, that's why he again goes to poverty, right? That is vicious cycle of poverty. So poor health also lead to poverty, and poverty lead to poor health because of lack of proper nutrition, right? Rice is one of the staple foods consumed by two-thirds of the population. Per capita rice consumption is around 6.8 kg per month. Therefore fortified rice with micronutrients is an option for supplemental diet of the poor. So to improve this ranking, to improve this global hunger index, that is 101, uh, that is at 101 position, and also to bring holistic development among the health of women and children, it is essential to fortify the food, and government is adapting by fortifying the rice, because rice is consumed by two-thirds of the country, right? Okay, now what are the initiatives related to fortification? In 2000 October 26, FSSI authorized the Food Safety and Standard Act. One of the measure is Food Safety and Standards Regulation 2016 for fortifying staple names: wheat flour, rice with iron, vitamin B12, folic acid, milk, edible oil, vitamin A, vitamin D, double fortified salt with iodine and iron to reduce the burden of micronutrient in malnutrition in India. Right? Nutritional strategy. Government National Nutritional Strategy 2017 has listed food fortification as one of the inventions to address anemia, vitamin A and iodine deficiency, apart from supplementation of dietary diversion. So this will address anemia, vitamin A and iodine deficiency, and this will diversify the diet. Right. So National Nutritional Strategy 2017 also highlight the food fortification, the importance of food fortification. Milk fortification project. The milk fortification project was launched by National Dairy Development Board, in collaboration with World Bank and Tata Trust as a pilot project in 2017. World Bank and Tata Trust as a pilot project in 2017. Milk fortification project was started. Then, so it's all about your food fortification. Now we'll discuss Quad. Fourth Quad Foreign Minister meeting. It happened recently. The fourth foreign minister of Quad grouping, that is India, US, Australia, and Japan. You have already, I think, know that we have many times have discussed this Quad. This is initiative by US, especially it is a organization uh, against the assertiveness of China in Indo-Pacific, right? To establish regional and to establish maritime security and tranquility in Indo-Pacific region. It is a step taken by US along with India, Australia, and Japan, right? It was held in Melbourne, Australia. It is important so far as films is concerned. The fourth foreign minister meeting held it was held in Melbourne, Australia. The meeting was held amid escalating tension between Russia and North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Russia and North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This is now the conflict in Ukraine between NATO and the Russia is going right. Still, it happened. That it is occurred. It is organized. The Afghanistan crisis increasing concern of China's coercion in Indo-Pacific region. So there are various issues. One is Ukraine issue, second is Afghanistan crisis, and the Chinese coercion in India Pacific region. Then what is Quad? It is a group of four democracies, that is India, Australia, US, and Japan. Four democracies: India, Australia, US, and Japan. It is a move by US to isolate China and Russia in an international sphere. Japan is a major economic power, and Australia is a big power in India in having a cloud in Pacific Ocean. Right. So in that scenario, India is the largest country. It is the ideal swing state against China. It is its position so far as the Indian Ocean is very significant. So that's why these four democracies came together to establish Quad. All four nations come on common ground, being democratic nations. They are democracies and also support common interest in unhindered maritime trade and security. Unhindered maritime trade and security. Why this is said? This is said because China is an autocratic country. It is autocratic country and it is developing its power too much in the ocean, right? That's why the US and other government fear regarding maritime security, because it has already disregarded the verdict of International Court of Arbitration in South China Sea. So China is a country which is now which doesn't obey the international law, right? That's why it cannot be trusted. So whenever it is developing power in the ocean to establish maritime security and trade, the four countries are coming together, right, to establish peace. And the objective is against China. Quad is built as four democracies with shared objective to ensure support free, open, prosperous Indo-Pacific region. You must remember this phrase, that is free, open, and a prosperous Indo-Pacific region. The idea of Quad was first promoted by Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in 2007. However, idea could not move ahead and Australia pulling out of it apparently due to the Chinese pressure. Finally, in 2017, India, Australia, US, Japan came together and formed which is the quadrilateral coalition in 2017. Then, where what are the discussions on security and negligence? So, the fourth Quad meeting already happened, and what are the discussions security and intelligence? It called for justice of 2611 attack at Mumbai and the Pathankot Airways 2016. The first time since the group was created, Quad is already cooperating in sharing intelligence and threats in the Indo-Pacific region. Called for all countries to ensure territory under their control and not used to launch terror attack expeditiously, bring justice to perpetrators of such attacks. They made veiled reference to China's action in South China and in South and East China Seas, reaffirming commitment of free and open Indo-Pacific, in which the state strives to protect the interests of the people free from coercion. So, what is basically for the discussion on intelligence? First thing is that they called for justice of 26 by 11 terror attack that is in Mumbai. Then, then the quad this is cooperating. Second thing is that it is cooperating so far as Indo-Pacific intelligence is concerned, right? It has also called the country that they should not use their territory against for use of terrorists, right? And they ask for open and free Indo-Pacific region, right? Free in the interest of their people and free from coercion. And stand on a vaccine initiative. Renewed commitment up to the flagship Quad vaccine initiative to deliver at least 1 billion vaccine. Quad vaccine initiative to deliver at least 1 billion vaccine produced in India by the end of 2022 to Indo-Pacific countries, right? 1 billion vaccines produced in India to the Indo-Pacific countries, and a place to donate 1.3 billion vaccine doses globally. The Quad vaccine partnership was announced in March 2021. What's the Quad stand in Myanmar crisis? Myanmar crisis. It remains gravely concerned about the crisis in Myanmar and calls for an end-to-end violence. It remains gravely concerned about the crisis in Myanmar, right? Uh, that is democracy deficit in Myanmar, and Aung San Suu Kyi he got arrested. She got arrested. Calls for an end to violence. There is violence against the people by the army. Release of all those who are arbitrarily detained, and including the foreigners, and unhindered humanitarian access. It reaffirmed its support to the ASEAN Association of South Asian Nation (ASEAN). It reaffirmed its support with ASEAN efforts to seek a solution in Myanmar, and called military regime to urgently implement the ASEAN's 5-point consensus and swiftly return Myanmar to the path of democracy. This is what urged. So Quad has focused on ASEAN and the crisis in Myanmar, and urged to establish democratic path. It encouraged the international community to work together to support an end to violence. What did the leaders say on emerging technologies? Right, Quad on technology. Record progress on the field of cooperation identified during Quad Summit 2021, including climate change, critical emerging technologies, counterterrorism, infrastructure, humanitarian assistance, and maritime domain awareness, disaster relief. The Quad is pushing the work on 5G technology. So there are various technology on which Quad is working. One is 5G technology. Second is relating humanitarian assistance, that is disaster relief. Third is maritime domain awareness. Fourth is emerging technologies like counterterrorism and infrastructure. Right. It also work for against climate change. Right. And diverse and interoperable telecommunication system through collaboration of like-minded partnership. Like-minded partner. Diverse interoperable telecommunication. That means one type of telecommunication can be shifted to other type of telecommunication. Right. Um, so these are the various projects on which Quad is working. Or the India stand in the meeting. India is open to supply the affordable vaccines, right? Such as Covovax and Corbevax under the Quad vaccine partnership. Two types. One is Covovax and Corbevax. These are the vaccines that will be sent by India to Quad countries. Quad is building an agenda which seeks further India's share vision of a open, inclusive Indo-Pacific. Free, open, inclusive Indo-Pacific. India and Australia have pledged to work together for building more trusted and resilient supply chains, ensuring broad and inclusive growth in the Indo-Pacific region. I have already discussed this. Both countries, India and Australia, has pledged together to build a more trusted, resilient supply chains and ensuring broad and inclusive growth and strategy in Indo-Pacific region. So, they are talking about overall development of Indo-Pacific region. Earlier in 2021, Trade Minister of India, Japan, and Australia have formally launched Supply Chain Resilience Initiative (CSCRI). Right, this is the Trade Ministers of India, Japan, Australia. They have launched Supply Chain Resilience Initiative. As, as liberal democracies, India and Australia continue to work towards the rule-based international order, freedom of navigation in international waters, promoting connectivity, growth, security, for all while respecting the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the states. Right, all these things need to be focused. These are very important. That is, both India and they will advocate for rule of international order, freedom of navigation in international waters, promoting connectivity, growth and security, and all while respecting the territorial integrity and sovereignty of all the states, right? Then India and World Food Program who to Afghanistan. Recently, India signed an agreement with the United Nations World Food Program. Agreement with the United Nations World Food Program for the distribution of 50,000 megaton of wheat. It has committed to sending Afghanistan as part of humanitarian assistance. Right? It signed an agreement with United Nations Food and Agriculture Food Program, United Nation World Food Program, right? WFP, and for distribution of 50,000 metric ton of wheat. It has committed during the Afghanistan as a part of humanitarian assistance. Earlier, the Delhi Regional Security Dialogue on Afghanistan was held. The meeting was urgent humanitarian assistance because now, after the withdrawal of US Army from uh, Afghanistan, many investment gone out and people left the country. So the law and order has not stabilized. Government is proposing to stabilize the law and order. So that's why uh, and they are suffering. Uh, that's why they are suffering a lot, and India want to develop by providing humanitarian assistance. In 2020, Indians sent more than 20 tons of medicine, other equipment transported 50,000 tons of food to Afghanistan to address COVID-19 challenge. So India has been cooperating its best of so far as development of people is concerned. The wheat will be taken through Pakistan to the Afghan border crossing and handed over WFP officials in Kandahar beginning uh, February 2020. Iran has also offered to facilitate some of the wheat through Chabahar port and then Afghanistan border Jaidan. Right. It will be taken through Pakistan to the Afghanistan border, crossing and handed to the World Food Program officials. Iran has also offered some wheat through Chabahar port. So this is about wheat agreement to provide the humanitarian assistance to the Afghanistan people. What is the major concern for fulfilling the agreement? The route via Pakistan, which has an extra closed for all exports from India since 2019. This is one of the major problem, right? Closed for all exports from India since 2019, right? It's like to require several weeks for the transport of the current consignment. The infrastructure and labor required for the load and load wheat has also been organized. Pakistan has shut down all the trade with India to in protest government charges on Jammu and Kashmir on Article 17 in 2019. Subsequently, Pakistan government has allowed Afghan exports to India to pass through Wagah border, making the exception also medicine from during pandemic. Several consignments of medicine and medical equipment hospital in Afghanistan on board flight. So India has been developing humanitarian assistance, developing good relationship with the people of Afghanistan. Right. So what is World Food Program? It is leading organization, humanitarian organization saving the life and saving the lives and changing lives, delivering food assistance, emergencies to working with communities, improve nutrition, build resilience. So these are the major application. These are the major work of World Food Program. It was founded in 1961 by the Food and Agriculture Organization. FO and United Nations General Assembly with the headquarters in Rome and Italy. It is also a member of United Nations Sustainable Development Group (UNSDG). So, United Nations Food Program World FBO is also a member of UN Sustainable Development Group. WFP consists of 88 countries, has insisted 97 million people, which have largest number since 2019. So these are about World Food Program. Main objective. What is the objective of this World Food Program? Main objective to end the hunger, to improve the nutrition, achieving food security, supporting sustainable development goals, to focus on emergency assistance, as well as rehabilitation and developments. Major reports, global report on food crisis. What is the relationship between WFP and India, right? World Food Program. WFP has been working since India in 1963 with the work of transforming the food distribution to technical assistance. Since the country has been cereal production. The areas which World Food Program mainly assist in India are transforming the targeted quality system, um, efficiency. It will increase the efficiency, accountability, transparency, and will provide subsidized food distributed. It will ensure that the food distributed is subsidized. Then fortification of government distributed food. The mapping of food insecurity, that is also very important. Mapping of food insecurity. So it is seen that if that is a pilot project is launched in a district and we see 20% decrease in our anemia, right? That's why it worked very good. So it need to implement it. Then mapping and monitoring of food insecurity. World Food Program has used vulnerability analysis and mapping software to identify India's most food insecure areas, which allows policy to relief work to be targeted appropriated World Food Program. Right? It targets the most insecure areas. Then mapping and monitoring, WFP has used vulnerability analysis and mapping softwares to identify most food insecure areas, and mapping will be done and monitoring will be done according to that. Then strategy plan for India, according to the country of strategy plan for India 2019-23, it wants to enable most vulnerable people of India to meet the minimum food and nutrition requirements throughout the year. This enable people with a high risk of malnutrition, especially women, children, and adolescent girls, will have improved nutrition by 2025. So we'll discuss the current affairs objective questions. The global competitiveness report is published by World Economic Forum. Remember, global competitiveness report is published by World Economic Forum. And consider the following statements about Organization of Islamic Cooperation. It is the second largest intergovernmental council organization after United Nations. Yes, it is the second largest intergovernmental organization after United Nations. Then it was established after a decision of historical summit took place in Jeddah. No, Jeddah and Saudi Arabia. This is the headquarters. It was established in Morocco, right? It was established in Morocco, right? India is not a member of OIC. Yes, this is also true. This is wrong. Right. So one and three options are right. India is not a member of OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Consider the following statements about the International Space Station. International Space Station, which is why it is created to to the increase the renewable energy through solar system, right? Through solar power. International solar system is there for cooperation and in science and research for development of solar power. The joint project among the five participating space agencies. Sorry, it's not international. It is International Space Station. It's not International Solar Alliance. So that's why, sorry, it's a joint project among five participating space agencies. Yes, it is right. Now it is a habitable. It is a habitable artificial satellite in low Earth orbit. It serves a microgravity and space environment in the research laboratory. Yes, it is. Especially International Space Station. These are located in low Earth orbit. Right. It's a habitable artificial satellite that ensures microgravity and the astronauts can stay easily. Next attempt. First time used electronic EVM machine according to the general election of Kerala in 1982. Yes, in Kerala it was first implemented. EVM machine 1982. Voter verifiable paper audit trial VVPAT is an independent system attached to EVMs that allow voters to verify their votes are cast intended. The election commission has mandated one compulsory verification slip count with the electronic count for one polling station B in every constituency. So this is the three, all the three options are right here. Which is the with reference to reference India's Ranthambore National Park, which of the following statements are correct? It is located at the junction of Aravali and Vindhyan Range. Yes, it's true. Ranthambore National Park, Aravali and Vindhyan Range, bordered by north by Banas River and south by Chambal River. Both options are right. It harbors dry deciduous forest and open grassy meadow because there is very few rainfall. Right. So one, two, three, all the three options are right here. So like this video, share this video and allow us to continue us, encourage us to continue this program. Thank you. Daily timing of this session is from 2:30 to 3:30. 2:30